Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name's Carmen. Today we have a reading for Gemini, and I pulled from the Energy Oracle cards. And when the second chakra card came out, the last half of chakra was kind of blocked by door to romance. And I thought second chance, but second chakra is also about self reflection. If you wonder why I look up there, I have them up on my board. But we've got door to romance as a result of somebody taking the time to actually self-reflect and look a little bit closer at what they've been maybe doing to block themselves from a love situation or not acknowledge a love situation. So we also have a lot of threes. So I think the number 33 or 333 would be pretty relevant to you. But let's get more. We'll call in spirit. A little bit of wind chime time. All right, I think we're going to start with the Voyage of the Soul. Gemini, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Happy Monday. If you see this the day I posted. All right, we've got Sword. That's appropriate for an air sign. Pierce, cutting, truth, sting, and boundaries. So this is somebody that has realized that things ended because you have maintained your boundaries. Split is head versus heart, two worlds, transition, and ego death. So this could be something that's happening to both or just one of you. Hi, Ivan. How are you doing? And it's caused a bit of a challenge. It's asking somebody to reassess, right? We have self-reflection coming out. So there's a truth that has made somebody really look at themselves and their decisions and wonder whether or not they are blocking themselves from a romance of a lifetime. Aw, well, that's very romantic. How was it? I hope it was magical. So we have flow. Very much so got the water theme going with these cards with the dark blue and then obviously the word flow. Underneath flow, we have breath, effortless, glide, easy, and calm. So one person is reflecting after a split and finding that a truth is really kind of difficult to swallow here, something that they didn't really want to think about. And yet they've had to think about it quite a lot. And then for the other person, there's self-reflection here in terms of I've been able to say what I needed to say. And even if it's a bit of a transition period right now, or even if, I've had to look at things a different way, I find that my life is easier or more calm as a result of being able to be honest or true to myself. And then we have journey. Road, planes, distant, movement, relocation, or visits, and then futuristic, visions, innovative, crafty, plans, and trendsetter. So Gemini, I feel like there is a journey that you're going to embark on this year. You could be actually relocating, but for many of you, this is a vacation or a visit, something a little bit more short term. And this is going to inspire you in terms of something you are meant to do that is going to get you noticed, to say the least. Oh, even when you're alone, sometimes those things can be romantic. At least that's my opinion, but maybe that's me. So Gemini, I would definitely encourage you to consider opportunities that let you travel somewhere you've always been drawn to, especially since we've got Ivan talking about the Mona Lisa. There's something magical that's going to happen when you travel somewhere. Again, with the travel implications here or references, we've got a hot air balloon in this picture. Ascension, upgrade, activation, progress, timelines, and shifting. I love that this is underneath the flow card because there's an element of maybe even feeling like this next level up is less work than you've had to do for the previous one. So you might feel like you've gotten a little bit of a break here in terms of, well, I mean, you're getting inspired while you're on vacation. So that's pretty much the best start ever, right? All right, we're going to grab from the Fairy Lenormand. What else do we have for Gemini? Number 16, stars, healing, wish fulfillment, hope restored, solitude, and the woman. So this is giving me restoration of strength on, in particular, the feminine side. So this doesn't mean you have to be a feminine or that the feminine is the one who's going through this. But I do feel like whatever is healing for you is directly related to a love situation. So somebody here is taking the time to think about the situation from the standpoint of mind that I want to get to a point where I have an open heart and I can love again, or I can be more loving in a situation. Hi, Christina. How are you doing? All right. So, there may be something here about someone traveling to visit a love interest, and that partnership may be pretty helpful in terms of whatever this future vision is that you have. We have Lucky, the clover. So there is an opportune situation or like a right place, right time thing that happens here for you. So you may be getting an offer that ends up improving both the love and the career or financial side of your life. We're going to continue, Gemini, with the Tattoo Tarot. I would also point out, I love that we have the number 2 card from Lenormand because, as you probably know, we've got with Gemini kind of like the number 2 in your symbol, right? So it's definitely the card of the twins, right? Or sorry, the symbol. We've got the 5 of Pentacles indicating that somebody felt left out in the cold. They were uncertain whether or not things would actually get better again between the two of you. But with the 8 of Cups in the reverse, there's a reunion or a reconciliation of some sort that's fast approaching. So we've got the Chariot. And for some of you, there could be a situation here that has to deal with law enforcement. Somebody works for the law enforcement, or somebody considered like a restraining order. There's something about things getting a little bit uncomfortable because of that connection. Page of Cups. And there's an apology here. Somebody feels like they were being a little bit extra, doing a little bit too much. There's a lot of like churchy art is what I would call it because I'm super educated. But if you think about it, who had a lot of money to spend on commissioning art? It was probably the church, right? So that's one thing I noticed when I visited LACMA is there was a lot of like Catholic themes and pastoral scenes that made sure to include the church, that kind of thing. So a lot of church references, and also like really, really incredible art, and probably inspired by people's faith too, right? So we've got the 9 of Swords in the reverse. This is finding relief after a situation that has made you feel pretty anxious or kind of unsure what was going to happen. That was really interesting how it flew over that way. You may be kind of surprised by something because that was like kind of in my peripheral, right? With the 2 of Wands in the reverse, you may be surprised because You didn't think somebody would plan something, and they did. This feels like a plan to get closer to you or to travel with you or to you. We have Strength in the reverse, Knight of Wands in the reverse, Six of Pentacles. There's someone in this situation that had a weakness when it came to some sort of sexual connection. So whether this means somebody would avoid fighting because they were too happy with the sexual side of the relationship, or if it was actually somebody going outside of the relationship. I kind of feel like it was more the former than the latter, but we've got an element here that's off in terms of desire and lust, and somebody being a little bit difficult, right? You can't always access them the same way, which sounds kind of pervy, but what I really mean is somebody knows how to kind of like disassociate or just like pull back really quickly, right? It's a very effective protection measure, but overly so, right? And so with Strength in the reverse, we've got somebody that's dealing with insecurity or a fear of perhaps rejection or abandonment. And that's causing them to be this kind of in and out, like flighty, breadcrumbing kind of energy. With the Six of Pentacles, though, there's a desire for somebody to actually be doing that equal give and take, right? Hi there, Voodoo. How are you doing? And there was nothing like that happening, right? There was one person that was open and giving, and another person that would go back and forth. So I feel like this Chariot is clarified by the Six of Pentacles to indicate that somebody realized if things were not going to change, they needed to leave. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, Judgment. Eight of Pentacles under the Page of Cups tells me that somebody is realizing now that they won't be able to really find something like this where somebody puts forth so much energy, love, and like invest their time. This is clearly somebody who is very focused, somebody who has been able to really demonstrate that they support another individual, but then the person that they were sharing so much time and energy with was being pulled in two different directions. Hey, Joanna, how are you doing? And because we've got, you see how the devil is larger in the picture than the angel? I feel like there was, for at least a period of time, like an actual like giving in to the temptation and siding with the person that was more based in fear, dishonesty, disloyalty, probably manipulation of facts, right? So somebody chose the wrong person here. Somebody chose the wrong path. Whatever it was, it separated you from this person. And now they realize that they have to like go a different way. They probably need to apologize to you and acknowledge that they lost their way. With the Star in the reverse, this is somebody who realized a little bit too late in the game, I probably shouldn't have done it that way, right? I probably should have listened to my intuition better. Because Two of Wands in the reverse is also bad planning. This is somebody who did something and didn't think about it enough. With the Ten of Pentacles here, I feel like a big factor has something to do with where somebody lives, how somebody makes their money, whether or not they're like taken care of. There are financial reasons that led this person astray. All right, we're going to continue with the situations deck. We're all hoping so. Just to, add on to Voodoo's comment there. All right, there's that hot air balloon. Oh, that's adorable. So if you recall, and it's right next to it, if you recall, we already had this hot air balloon situation, right? There is now confirmation. We've got a pop-up, a spontaneous visit. I checked, it's not the same hot air balloon, that would have been impressive. We've got the interview card telling me that there's going to be an effort to have a conversation. There's a pretty serious matter at hand. And we've got children in the reverse. I don't think that necessarily means we are not talking about children or that there are not children in this situation. I think more so what this is saying is this conversation is not playful. This is a serious matter. Somebody feels like they really have to be honest or get to the heart of the matter and not do too much of that jokey, like banter style, right? We have vacation, hideaway in the reverse, and magnetic in the reverse. So I think this escape card under the Eight of Pentacles is somebody that doesn't want to hide what they're investing in or doesn't want to be like kind of sneaky, right? Um, but we have adventure in the reverse, and I feel like it's kind of implying that there's something that you know you have to do and you have to do it in the right way. And it's a little bit like you're at the top of a roller coaster, but not in the fun way. Like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to do this. And with magnetic in the reverse, this feels like moving away from a situation that isn't what you want anymore. We have entrapment, money. I knew it had something to do with money. So somebody was led astray because they felt like it was financially beneficial to stay where they were or to not go the direction they were pulled in. And now we have soulmate. So I'm really drawn to friendship on this card. I feel like there's something here about a friendship that should have been less important or shouldn't have gone into a love territory, but it did. And with this clarifying the Ten of Pentacles, I think there is in particular a question mark here for somebody as to, do I stay with somebody because it's financially expedient or helps me in terms of my stability, or do I follow my heart and go with what actually like makes me happy, makes me smile, right? And a realization that you can feel like somebody is your soulmate for different reasons. There can be different types of connections, kind of like forgiving yourself if you fell in love and then fell in love again and you didn't really know how to like handle this situation. That's kind of what it feels like, is somebody has like maybe more of a long-term situation that just makes sense, but is starting to kind of have little cracks here and there, and then feeling guilty over how they feel in a different situation. All right, we're going to go to the Marigold Tarot. Let's see what we have for Gemini. The Devil. Three of Swords in the reverse. Seven of Swords, which this Seven of Swords always fakes me out, and I see the three swords first, and it makes me think of the Three of Swords. And then you notice there's one in each corner. So this feels like somebody who has healed from something being tested by the exact same person or exact same type of energy. Just like temptation is what I get off the Devil card here. So you have to ask yourself whether or not you have figured out those boundaries or those walls that make sense for you to the point where you can defend them in a situation that looks a lot like the one that just challenged you or that you just healed from. We have Knight of Cups in the reverse. I think you have to be a little bit guarded where it concerns love. I think there's somebody here who is going to say that they're ready to be in a relationship when they are not quite there yet. So this could be somebody who is kind of grabbing at straws, just like worried that you're going to move forward if you find something that's more in alignment with what you're looking for, what you have to offer. And there's definitely a concern here in terms of finances and missing a good opportunity because you are focused on the wrong thing. Like, do you want to miss out on the love of a lifetime because you like the house that you're living in? Just a question, because we have magician in the reverse, which to me is saying there are resources here that somebody does not acknowledge or realize are there for them. So it's like you're maybe more dependent on something or someone than you should be, because you would be able to make that up and maybe even more if you believed in what you could do differently, right? All right, we're going to continue. We'll do the kipper. What else do you have for Gemini? I like it. We have the gift and main female, also number 2 there. So there is definitely something here in terms of an opportunity for love. Because main female is more so speaking to me of that feminine side that we were talking about, somebody being able to address, right? Are you going to be more head over heart, or are you going to follow what your heart wants? And somebody is realizing that if they follow their heart or live more authentically, they won't have to worry about what they've missed out on. They'll be able to actually enjoy what they thought, should be theirs. They are worried, though. They acknowledge that whoever is their love interest is somebody that could be drawing in other people, other offers. With thief in the reverse, there could also be some sort of overconfidence here. Somebody who doesn't think that you're willing to change your life, maybe move away or do something like get engaged to somebody else. This may be somebody who feels like you are a believer in destiny or fate and you had already decided what you thought it should be. We have child and wealthy man. So for some of you, this is a message to let you know that there is somebody who is probably pretty well off, or at least very financially stable, and they are offering you something that comes from the heart. This can mean innocence. There could also be somebody in your life that is making an offer that has a child. There could be some question here about one person becoming a step parent, or somebody wanting children and somebody not wanting children. But I think more importantly, what I see here is somebody that actually has some pretty good intentions, and somebody being a little bit concerned or maybe a little bit like paranoid in terms of why somebody would want to be helpful or be good to them. So make sure you're using, your intuition in the right way and not excluding somebody because you think everybody is out to be a jerk, right? Because that's not true. There are at least 3 good people out there. I'm just kidding. There's way more than that. I think there's several in my chat right now, so that's cool. All right, we've got the 7 of Pentacles and Temperance and Judgment. There's an understanding that if it isn't a good situation, if it isn't a good balance, if it doesn't help you recharge, then you need to call it and move forward. Almost like an acceptance of one of my favorite sayings, just, whatever is meant for you will be for you, right? You don't have to be scratching and clawing, trying to make sure everything that you desire is yours. There is at some point in your life a very smooth transition and things just start to flow, right? Like this card says. We've got the 5 of Pentacles, the Tower in the reverse. Someone tried very hard not to lose this situation, this relationship, this living situation, whatever it was, but they actually just kind of expedited the end of that situation by being a little bit overly concerned with it and trying to manipulate the outcome. The Tower in the reverse tells me that we've got somebody here who has changed their perspective on the situation, and they now see why somebody is super, freaked out, right? Have a good one, Voodoo. And as a result, I think it's made it easier for somebody here to, move along. Accept that there was an ending or an outcome that they didn't really like, but being able to move through that and process it and begin to heal from it, right? All right, we're going to get a little clarification with the Everyday Tarot, and then we'll call it a day. What else do we have for Gemini? We have death. Yes, we definitely have transformation happening, right? And it's inspired by somebody's love and compassion. So this is, especially because we had ego death come out, this is somebody realizing that there's more like possibilities out there for them in love than they originally gave it credit for. This feels like somebody who kind of gave up and then decided, no, actually, just kidding. I know what I need to do. I know how I can change the situation and make my life better, and I'm going to do it. We have the Four of Pentacles. This is telling me that there was something either held back in terms of like a secret or information, or we also have the potential for somebody who was kind of saving money for a situation. With the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, there was something that like was an obstacle or an unexpected issue. We have the Hermit and the Nine of Cups in the reverse. There was a desire to choose a different path and become a better version of yourself and stop getting stuck by a situation or a person that was selfish or greedy. Eight of Swords. But a little bit of a concern here in terms of who you could trust and who was misleading you, who was like making false promises. With the Two of Swords in the reverse, I feel like there was kind of an avoidance of making a major decision because with the Ace of Swords in the reverse, I think there was some benefit to being secretive. There may have been some concern here in terms of someone's reaction. We've got the Seven of Swords, Three of Pentacles, and Page of Swords. Almost like somebody needed to kind of watch to see who was faithful or who was loyal and who would be maybe untrustworthy. Seven of Cups, because there was an illusion here. Somebody was pretending to be something that they weren't, and it did fool some like percentage of the community. With the Eight of Wands in the reverse, there was, however, a point of no communication or a lack of action that led to somebody's kind of gaining the courage to make a different decision or make a plan to, you know, depart and do something different. We have King of Pentacles. I believe there was some sort of increase in terms of cost or some sort of realization that somebody didn't need what they thought they needed in terms of money, that they could make something work. With the Four of Cups in the reverse, they had to choose happiness over some sort of financial stability or increase. With the World, many of you may be like trying to find a new place to live or focusing on some sort of trip that you're taking. There is inspiration or some sort of important element in this move or this vacation that helps you get what you're meant to have. Be careful and avoid a loss. This feels like making sure you don't trust somebody that is disloyal. So again, I do think it's warranted for you to have a little bit of solitude or a little bit of like making sure that people are actually loyal to you. You'll be happiest with peace and quiet. Exactly. That's why that Hermit card came out. You are a great leader. So you can't lead if you're just hanging out by yourself. Take some time to yourself, rebuild those, you know, confidences or take a moment, watch some movies, do some yoga. But you got to also remember that there's something here that you're meant to do in terms of giving back, right? Something that you can do to help others that have gone through something that you've been through. So remember, there is a point at which you have to be like, all right, self, it's kind of getting boring just hanging out with myself. I should probably get back to the land of people. All All right. I hope you enjoyed the reading, Gemini, and thank you for your patience. I know I wanted to post this yesterday, but life happens. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye, guys.